Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Friday, December the 5th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and Matt Robinson here with you on a Friday and ready to talk about a Friday NHL slate with a few games on tap. Light card as usual, but still some good games to look forward to here tonight. And boy, is there ever a lot to be excited about and happy about and look back on last night as we bask in the glory, certainly yours truly, about a phenomenal night on the ice. Absolutely outstanding. One of the all-time great, actually, NHL betting nights in recent memory. And this goes back seasons now. It's definitely one of, if not the best of this season. But this goes back years. I don't know if we'll find many nights that have been better than last night. I mean, you can't really top 5 out of 6 underdogs, most of which were sizable plus prices as well. 5 of the 6 underdogs that I bet pregame last night coming through and emerging victorious last night. So it was of course, the best bet was Detroit Columbus over. That couldn't have been easier. And just to show how great last night was, even the reads we gave you and how we thought things would unfold and flow in certain games on the show yesterday, especially that Detroit Columbus game is a perfect example. You know, we said 6 straight overs between the two teams, but we cautioned you that there had been a lot of low-scoring starts in those 6 straight overs involving the Red Wings and Blue Jackets. And we said, don't be surprised if the first period is scoreless or 1-0. And that's exactly what it was. And then live bet an over because the second and the third period of these Detroit-Columbus games is where the goals have exploded. That's exactly what we saw last night. Hell, the game went over the total, got to 3-3 like halfway through the second period. So crazy to see how that worked out. So best bet winner. Where do we begin? Great win, Toronto in Carolina. Freddie Anderson, rough night at the office for him. That first goal was bad. Second goal was a bad bounce off the boards. He couldn't have done anything about that. But he was not great again for the Carolina Hurricanes, and it's becoming a concern with Frederik Anderson. But Toronto, another great road performance. Matthews was good. Matthew Nyes was outstanding last night. Just a great team effort. Max Domi, a great pass to set up Matthews on one of the goals. Played a good team defensive game. Everything was great for the Leafs. The one bit of bad news, though, Joseph Woll got injured, unfortunately, just when he's playing so great since he's been back. He had to leave the game. Dennis Hildeby had to finish the game for Toronto. Now there's talk about how long is this absence going to be for Woll. Craig Berube didn't really have an update yesterday about it. Said they'd know more today. So it's either, and Anthony Stolarz hasn't even started skating yet. So he's not even in the conversation. He's not even in the mix yet. So you could be talking about Hildeby and that Russian kid that's down with the Marlies being called up to maybe be the 2 goaltenders for Toronto. So that is a concern. But again, we don't know the severity yet or the length of absence for Joe Woll. It could just be day to day, but it could be weeks and maybe even a month. You never know. So we'll know more about that. But a nice win there for Toronto last night against Carolina. The Nashville Predators and the Florida Panthers, who, are last now in the Atlantic Division. You thought, that was a pretty important game for them to win last night against Nashville and still couldn't. They lose 2-1 last night to the Predators. They score 1 goal in the first period. It was Carter Verhaeghe, the dad bump, if you will, getting that goal for Florida. But Ryan O'Reilly ties it, and Steven Stamkos, 2 of the old veterans for Nashville, end up coming through for them, and they get a 2-1 win over the Panthers in that game. So another, disheartening loss there for the Florida Panthers. Pittsburgh beats Tampa 4-3. This was a great result, too. Penguins money line and team total over. The full game overall hit. Controversy, though. Looked like Tampa had tied the game 4-4. Hand pass was called, negated the goal, and that allowed Pittsburgh to hang on 4-3. I'll be honest, I had Pittsburgh. I thought that was a pretty bad call. Pretty bad call that went against Tampa Bay there. And I got to admit, it can't be biased. It was a bad call. I'll take it. But Tampa Bay deserved better there in that situation. John Cooper rightfully upset about the way that game ended. How about the New York Islanders? Wow, of all teams to put an end to Colorado's hot streak, the Islanders 6-3 over the Colorado Avalanche. And just when I'm singing praises of the team in Blackwood, they give up a 6 spot to the New York Islanders last night. Underdogs started the night 6-0. You know, Nashville, Pittsburgh, Colorado, Toronto, Boston, who beat St. Louis 5-2 as the Blue struggles continue. Rangers, we talked about how that was a nightmare spot for Ottawa coming off a 7-game road trip. We had Rangers first goal, first period, Rangers money line, and it ended up being a 4-2 Rangers win there. So really, really good to be able to cash those Rangers bets. So it was a 6-0 night for the underdogs to begin. As I already mentioned, the best bet over was Detroit-Columbus, but Columbus was the first favorite on the night to get the victory as they came back. Well, they came back multiple times. They were up actually a couple times. Detroit then tied it, and Columbus ended up emerging with the 6-5 shootout victory over Detroit. It ended up being not the greatest goaltending exhibition last night from Talbot or Merzlikins. Both of those guys not great. There are no Merzlikins. There was one goal he certainly should have had, but Columbus gets the win anyway, 6-5. We were a little leery of Minnesota. I was anyway. Because of how cheap the line was. And the more I thought about Minnesota was maybe going to be one of my stronger bets of the whole card initially. But then I thought about it more, and I said, Minnesota just lost to Buffalo playing down to the opponent, and no Wallstead. It ended up being Gustafsson instead. I started to get more of a unsettling feeling about backing Minnesota. I still did bet Minnesota, but I kept it a lighter bet, and I'm glad I did because Calgary ended up with the 4-1 win in that game. It was a very good night for Wolf in net. He was very solid, but that was certainly not a good Minnesota performance. Sloppy, lackadaisical, didn't really generate a whole lot. John Hines called his team out. He doesn't do that very often. He did that after the game last night, saying, we haven't been outworked very often, but last night we were in that Calgary 4-1 win. Edmonton just putting the boots to Seattle 9-4, but not the worst thing in the world. We did have Seattle. We lose the money line. They didn't score first, so we lost the first period, first goal. But we did have team total over 2.5, and Alex's best bet was Seattle team total over 2.5, so we cashed that, even though they lose 9-4. So, but again, boy, Joey Decord's had a rough week, man. We like him. We think he's good goalie. Will continue to be a good goalie, but he's fighting it right now, battling some confidence issues. I think too, what's hurting Joey is the fact that there's so much pressure on him every night to be great because the team doesn't always score. Team doesn't always fire away offensively, and that really puts a lot of stress. Every shot feels like, boy, if I let this in, we're in big trouble, and it's very unsettling to play goaltender. When you're in that kind of a mindset, when you're worried that your team's not going to give you enough quote unquote run support. Yep. So I think that's kind of hurt, but no, he has to play better. There's no doubt. He got pulled. Grubauer came in, and Grubauer wasn't much better. Grubauer's not the answer at this stage of his career. So 9-4 Edmonton, give them credit. They needed a good authoritative home win for a change, and they finally got one. And how about those Chicago Blackhawks? More importantly, how about those LA Kings? Woof. Another terrible start. Another awful first period. That's 2 in a row at home when you need the points urgently. Washington and then last night against Chicago, and you play like that coming out of the gate at home. No urgency, stuck in mud, getting outworked, losing every puck battle, hemmed in your own zone. Just awful from the Kings. And again, as Jonathan alluded to in the chat, it took them falling down to Washington to finally step up and get going a bit. And same thing last night. It took them falling behind 2-0 to Chicago to really finally get going and push back a little bit. I thought their third period was pretty good, but too little, too late. They did get the goal to cut it to 2-1, but that was it. They were not able to, and by the way, that was an abomination of a 6-on-4 at the end.
Brutal.
They didn't even get one quality chance or shot or look toward the net. Spencer Knight's picking cherries back there, just staring up at the sky. Nothing was happening. Chicago was defending well, but LA's got to generate something out of that. 6-on-4 with the game on the line. Points you need at home where you've been stinking the joint up all year, and you can't find a chance, one good look the whole time in that 6-on-4 sequence down 2-1. Terrible stuff from the LA Kings. By the way, the natives are restless. You should see Kings fans on Twitter. I know I retweeted a bunch of them in our group chat.
Yeah, I did too. I retweeted them on my actual page, my timeline. So
yeah, it's just they got the pitchforks and the torches out right now. The LA Kings fans, they want Jim Hiller out of there so badly right now. Yeah, it's getting bad. Like, this is bad. The crowd was terrible last night. Empty seats galore. So, they're just voicing their displeasure by not showing up. with this rough start here for the LA Kings. No question about that. And give Chicago credit. Gutsy road win, hung on. Night was good again. See how calm he is in the interview with Cassie Campbell-Pascal and Roxy Bernstein on the ESPN Plus broadcast after the game. And how about the fact, and Cassie alluded to this, and she's right, how about the fact that Connor Bedard takes a very unfortunate, he didn't mean to, it's just an unfortunate, fast game, you're going to take an unfortunate penalty late every now and then. But after all he's done for this hockey team, 32 points in the last, 18 games. He's been just unbelievable for Chicago. Everything he's done to lift this team. Finally, his team lifted him for a change. Got through that penalty at the end of the game and, came through for him for a change after all the times Connor Bedard has come through for his hockey team. That was a nice poetic ending to that Chicago victory. Alex, go ahead. Your thought.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like you said, that's a game that you like to see the Hawks win. A kind of gritty, good pace. Like you said, for the Hawks in the first 40 minutes, getting that late goal by Wyatt Kaiser. You want to see them build upon those kind of goals because, like you said in our chat, that should be a back-breaking goal. The way that LA was playing, you're supposed to spin off of that and get a couple more goals and put that game out of reach for Chicago. But they're a young team. In due time, they will be able to take advantage of those spots. But to play well defensively in that third, it was a bad beat for our guy John Massey, who actually had that live draw, because that game should have gone to overtime. And if it was a better offensive team, a better structured team, they probably get that second goal and tie that game up the way that they were
Definitely
scoring.
Possible.
Yeah, and rightfully so, with the 6-on-4, like you said, and this was a Hawks team. The group of top penalty killers, had been on the ice for quite some time, and before that penalty, you had Teuvo Teravainen take a stick to the face and was off the ice. So all the chances in the world for LA in that spot to even that game up, and they just couldn't. And it was just a microcosm of what it's been the last couple of days. And, I guess it's kind of cathartic for me and maybe for you too, Ian, because as fed up and mad as we were with Jim Hiller and this team after that Game 6 ending in the playoffs last year, it seems like all the fans in LA now are feeling that exact same way. And obviously you never wish for the ill will of a man to lose his job. But Jim Hiller is simply not qualified to be a National Hockey League coach right now. He does not deserve to have the head coaching position for the Los Angeles Kings. It's plain and simple as that. Now, will someone else come in and fix this team and all of a sudden they're red hot and they're one of the best in the West? Probably not. Okay, they're talking about Tortorella. That could be a fun shit show to watch, but I don't know if it's going to turn them into a cup contender. Pete DeBoer, does he make another round, in California and now with the Kings? Can he bring his magic through? Maybe, maybe not. But one thing's for damn sure, Jim Hiller ain't the guy. He's not that guy. He needs to go. And like I said, if they lose again to this same Hawks team on Saturday, how can you look at yourselves, in the face if you're anyone in this front office and say, yeah, we can keep rolling with this guy? You just can't.
People are saying Pete DeBoer to LA, Pete DeBoer to LA. Does Pete DeBoer want the LA job? He might be holding out for something better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he should be in no hurry. He's still collecting his pay from Dallas. He's in no fucking hurry. He can pick and choose what job he wants. Yeah.
Deal with this lousy franchise and all that traffic. Why do that? But like I said, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess with LA right now. And that was one of the interesting games. Minnesota Calgary was a boring game, just a dreadful fucking game. And the Wild had chances, couldn't capitalize on it. Calgary let them hang around for quite a while until they finally realized, hey, we can win this game, and put it away 4-1. And like I said, you're not going to see flat efforts like that from Minnesota too often. You'll see them lose and get beat by a better team, but you won't see them just completely just go, like I said, just limp in the third. And good on Hines for calling them out for that. I expect to see a better effort from Minnesota moving forward. And, like I said, we had great calls even on bets we didn't make. I was a little leery about taking the draw in Isles Abs. And I said, if you're looking to fade the Abs at any point with that streak running, take a splash with them in regulation. So I'm hoping somebody grabbed that plus 220, 225 with the Isles of that. And even with that Seattle-Edmonton game, I said, I'm liking that team total a lot more because this could be a spot. I thought Edmonton would get in the second, third period and go crazy. They had the offense the whole night with the 9 goals, but I just knew Seattle against a guy like Calvin Pickard could at least be able to get to 3. And that's some things you have to pinpoint, especially when you see mismatches we talk about trying to fade teams who are especially in that minus 200, 300 price ranges. The team total is sometimes just the way to go to just stay out of any chaos. Of course, you like to grab those big plus prices for victories and get those upsets. But if you just need 2 goals and get it at plus money, so be it.
Yeah, no question. Like I said, definitely good pieces of advice. Even I did lean Islanders. I just didn't. I just couldn't bring myself to go against Colorado with what they've been doing. But I did sense there was a chance the Islanders could maybe upend them. But I certainly didn't see it by a 6-3 score. That was pretty impressive when you look at it um, by the New York Islanders last night in that game. Yeah, it's time for Hiller to go. I think just about and when Helene Elliott, by the way, Hall of Famer, she wrote about and covered hockey for 40 years. And especially the Kings for most of that time, is saying, you know what, it's time for Jim Hiller to be gone. That tells you all you need to know. Like, there's a lot of people that are saying that, now is about, and it actually, I could see it happening. I don't know if it's going to happen, in the next 24 hours. It could happen if they lose to Chicago again that on Saturday. That is where I definitely think we could see the change maybe take place. Matt, how was the Thursday for you? I think it was a good betting night for you as well. I know you had a piece of Chicago, and I think things went well on the betting board for you as well. So let's hear some thoughts.
Overall, a great Thursday. As we've talked about before, when there's 6-3, 9-4, 6-5 type games, it's generally a good sign for me. So was able to cash both premium plays I had yesterday, one of which was that Detroit Columbus game that I guess ended up being your best bet. That was my favorite play of the day as well. So I was on that. Obviously, no real sweat there. Little nerve wracking in the first period. I wasn't able to catch the show yesterday. I had meetings throughout the time span, so I didn't hear you guys talk about it, but I wasn't super nervous, but it was a slower start. So I was like, great, of course I'm on it at 6.5, but second period very easily came through. So
If you want,
that
if you
was
want
good
me
to
to be
see.
brutally honest about that game, I was not sweating one bit, even after that first
Yeah.
period. I'm like, we're good, we're good, because I knew the
Yeah.
pattern, I knew the track record, I knew the history of Detroit versus Columbus. The floodgates open in the second and third period.
Yeah, no doubt. So that was good. And then my dog of the day was, as you mentioned, Chicago was my other premium play. So love getting a little sweep there. Betting wise, I did have a 4-game over 5.5. I had to buy down either a goal or half a goal in some games, but between Pittsburgh, Tampa, St. Louis, Boston, Toronto, Carolina, Detroit, Columbus, that was an easy cash at 445. So um, always enjoy those big parlays. And it was a bit of a sweat because that Toronto game, I needed that empty net to get over that 5.5. That was the last one I was waiting on. So that was good to see. Yeah, you mentioned the Islanders. It was one of those things with the Avs that I wasn't going to bet against them, but I felt like, at some point they're going to lose a game in regulation. They had just been on such a heater, one regulation loss through 25, 26 games. Does that mean they're going to go on some big skid? Absolutely not. But, it was bound to happen at some point. It is kind of funny given that, you know, Islanders fans obviously aren't very happy with the Dallas Stars right now, but they decided to give the Stars a little reward in beating the Avs in regulation. So it was kind of interesting to see that, after all the heat that Islanders fans were giving Dallas, now they helped them out, tighten that gap a little bit in the Central and I guess in the top of the NHL. So that was good to see. Oilers continue to be very up and down. It seems like there's a team getting 7 or 8 goals pretty consistently with them. It just, you never know if it's going to be them or the other team. I saw that was your one dog that ended up losing, but Seattle still gets to the team total by getting 4 goals. So always good to see. I did take a shot on the over in that game. I did have first period and full game. So obviously Edmonton took care of that first period. And then the full game over at 6 was not really a sweat in that one as well. So overall, great night. Again, last game of the night was the Blackhawks Kings, and I was like, we'll see if we can jump on. I got in at plus 190. So that was a nice little hit at the end of the night. I did get a little nervous when it was 2-1 after LA scored. Um, you know, I feel like overtime in the NHL is such a toss up. So, you look at that Detroit Columbus game, either team could have won that game. So I just didn't want it to get there. Let's say there's a weird breakdown for Chicago, LA ends up winning the game. So it was good to see them close it out. So overall, a great Thursday. Have a pretty good Friday. There's a couple looks that I like on today's card, despite the 5-game card. And then already looking ahead to Saturday, we've got 12 games on the slate. So a lot of action tomorrow as well. So
That's right. The Matt Robinson look ahead to Saturday segment. That's part of the Friday show. We'll be doing that later. So, yeah, so have some of those Saturday looks ready for later in the show. We'll be talking to Matt about some Saturday games he likes later on in the show. But first, we have the Friday card to get through, and we will begin with Vegas taking on New Jersey. We got Vegas minus 125, road favorite, 6 the total in this game. Bad homestand here for New Jersey. Whoa, it's been a rough one for them. They lose 3 in a row here on home ice on this homestand. Philadelphia, Columbus, and then of course in their last game, shut out by Matt's Dallas Stars, 3-0 in their last game. So it's been a rough go for the Devils here on this homestand. It's been everything, right? Offensively, hit or miss, and defensively, it's come kind of unglued for them here during this homestand, giving up 13 goals here on the 3-game homestand to this point for the New Jersey Devils. Not exactly what you want to see. Vegas rolls in following a shootout win at home against Chicago in their last game. That was a very entertaining game. Back-to-back home wins before they hit the road here for a little road trip through the tri-state area. They got the Devils, Rangers, Islanders, 3 in a row, and then the Flyers, obviously, after that. So beginning of a road trip here for Vegas. From all indications, Bruce Cassidy has stated that he is going to alternate Carter Hart and Akira Schmid, at least at the onset, as far as his starting goaltending is concerned, even though obviously, and again, this is a guy that has not played NHL hockey or any hockey for that matter, very much in the last, at all for the last couple of years until this year. So I think he's trying to just, pace his minutes, if you will, pace his games early in the season. Jacob Markstrom has been confirmed in net for the New Jersey Devils here tonight in this game. There's no changes with any of their injury situations. All their injuries are long-term, right? Kovacevic, Pesce, Jack Hughes, they're still all out. Evgeny Dodonov still out as well. And we should see Akira Schmid as a result in net for Vegas because, as Bruce said, he's going to go back and forth, Hart to Schmid. And it makes sense, I guess, to give Schmid this start because this is the former team. He started his career with the Devils, so maybe looking to play well against them. Will he is the question because Akira Schmid has not been nearly as sharp here in the last few games for the Vegas Golden Knights in between the pipes. Schmid enters this start, winless in his last 3 starts, 3.21 goals against, 865 save percentage for Schmid in those last 3 starts. So he hasn't been nearly as solid in between the pipes. I went with over by Fecta here. Vegas, New Jersey. We got the shutout angle here, and this shutout angle is starting to pick up steam again. These teams off a shutout that are starting to become good first period and full game over bets again. The double system play with Seattle Edmonton, holy mackerel, that game just exploded as far as first period and full game over. I think we see that again here. Vegas is not defending well either, guys. 3 goals or more they have surrendered in 6 straight games. Entering tonight, the Vegas Golden Knights. So they haven't been playing great defense. So I think New Jersey off a shutout loss to Dallas. They get some offense rolling. Sheldon Keefe is mixing the lines up a little bit, which I don't mind because they got to get something going. They really did not generate a whole lot against Dallas the other night. So I think it's worth a shot to mix up the lines, try to get a spark, create a spark, get something going for New Jersey offensively. But again, New Jersey on this homestand, they've given up 13 goals in 3 games. Vegas's offense starting to percolate and heat up toward the end of that homestand. 4 goals against both the Sharks and the Blackhawks. So they should have some confidence offensively. And we know we don't trust Jacob Markstrom in net for the Devils because he's been more erratic than not of late. So I like first period, full game over here, Vegas and New Jersey. I think if I were to look at a side, I could only back Vegas. New Jersey's slumping right now at home. Vegas, is the lean, but it is Vegas on the road where they've been choppy at times. I'd much prefer the bifecta with the over here in this game. Alex, what do you think? Vegas, New Jersey.
You could even take a shot with the trifecta here, honestly, but I do like that over bifecta as well. There's a 5.5 minus 125 available still at DraftKings. Otherwise, I think 6 is fine as well. I like I said, Akira Schmid going back to his old team. I don't think there's going to be a big time kind of a game from him. I think he's still having his struggles, and like I said, something to watch for with Vegas. So they're going between Schmid and Hart. They sent Lindbaum back, but I guess something up with him. They called up Jesper Vikman. So I don't know if they still want to continue to run 3 goalies with considering how rusty Carter Hart might still be. They want to, so it said going back and forth for now, but they're still kind of plummeting and toiling with that 3 goaltender option, which I think, it's one thing to do that when you were waiting for Hart, but now that Hart's there, you want to, like I said, give him the rotation, let him get games in. I don't think having 3 goalies in the spot is going to help him knock the rust off any sooner. But with that said, I like goals here, so it's going to be over by 5.
All right, good stuff. And by the way, I'm going to also take the New Jersey first goal of first period on the Devils coming off the shutout loss. I think they might get on the board first. It's worth noting, one previous game they've played this year, they've only been shut out once previously before the Dallas game. They got shut out against, I'm trying to look back and see who it was. It was Florida. They got shut out 1-0 on the road. The next game, they lost 6-3 to Philadelphia. And by the way, the over by Fecta cashed in that game. The game after a shutout loss for New Jersey against Florida. It was 6-3 Philly against New Jersey. The over by Fecta easily cashed. But New Jersey, even though they lost 6-3 to Philadelphia, they scored the first goal of the game in the first period. That was that weird game where all of a sudden Philly had those 3 goals in 30 seconds in that first period against Jake Allen. It was a crazy sequence, and that's kind of where the game got away from New Jersey. But they did score the first period in that Philly game the last time they were off a shutout loss. So I will take the New Jersey first goal of the first period as well, in addition to that over by Fecta. Matt, what do you think here? Golden Knights, Devils.
Not too much to add. I like the over by Fecta here. What I think I'm going to do, because I love the first period over. 2 teams that are 7-3 in their last 10. The New Jersey shutout angle. Vegas starting a road trip. I love both teams want to get off to a hot start. The Devils want to redeem themselves a little bit after that Dallas shutout. And Vegas, when you head out east like that, a good start in the first game can do wonders in, how the next 3 or 4 games are going to go. So I love the first period over here. I do love the over at 6, but I think because I like the first period so much, I'm going to take the first period and then take a same game parlay of 1.5, 5.5 first period full game. So that way, if we do stop at 6, I cash all 3 bets as long as we get that first period over. So definitely love the first period here. Still love the full game over at 6, but that's just maybe how I'll play it since I've got that access to MGM and can do the 1.5, 5.5 that way.
No doubt. And make sure you shop around that. I mean, I got that 5.5 at -125 at DraftKings. Yeah. There are definitely 5.5s out there. So if you're betting the full game over, you should be on the 5.5. You should be able to get the 5.5. Because it is out there. And that's what was appealing to me anyway about this game as far as overs. I think it's nice to get a 5.5 when you got the situation involving New Jersey here off a shutout loss to the Dallas Stars. And as far as props go for this game, he can't put the puck in the ocean right now. But Paul Cotter is a former Vegas Golden Knight now playing for New Jersey. So if you want to buy into that, now again, this guy is having a hard time scoring goals right now. It's not been a great offensive season at all for Paul Cotter, but he is against his old team. We'll see if that can maybe get him going. Braden Bowman's always worth a look. Close shave. Barbashev, they both scored last game for the Vegas Golden Knights and still up on the top line for them. New Jersey, we talked about some changes. I'm telling you what, maybe it's coincidence that he's up on the top line tonight. Maybe it's just meant to be that he's on the top line for New Jersey tonight because Matt's on the show. But Stefan Nason for the New Jersey Devils, Sheldon Keefe's moved him up to the Heishier and Meyer top line tonight for the New Jersey Devils.
We all got to bet that, right?
I think we do.
I already have 2 bargain bins, but I'm going to make it 3 now. So I won't count that as a bargain bin, but I feel like we'll all 3 be on that game. It's a Friday.
It's a group bet
on the show.
For sure.
Yeah. So I like that.
I like that one.
I didn't notice that he had jumped to the top line, but he has been. I mentioned it to Ian on Tuesday, but he's been in fights in the last, like a couple of fights, and he's never been a guy that's afraid to mix it up. But it seems like he's been doing a heavier job of that So just with them slumping, I mean, they're probably just like, hey, let's get him on that line. He'll kind of grind, for the other guys, but he's definitely not immune to a off the shin pads or, an eighth rebound type of goal. So he may be a great fit playing with them, and, maybe he'll pop one tonight. So I'll definitely jump on that with you guys as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think up on that top line, definitely worth a look. Yeah, over by Fecta is it's actually Matt's creation, the phrase over by Fecta.
Yeah.
But it's just a term for first period and full game over, but not as
Right.
a parlay. People sometimes
No.
get that confused that we throw them in. That means we throw them into a parlay. No, they're individual bets. Just bet
Right.
this first period over on its own and the full game over on its own.
And then the trifecta is first period over, first period, both teams to score, and full game.
There you go. So now you know it. Over by Fecta and over trifecta. There you have it. So now you know exactly what we mean when we say it. All right, Buffalo, Winnipeg. We got Winnipeg minus 125 home favorite, 6.5 the total. I mean, I really wanted to bet Winnipeg here. Short turnaround revenge spot. The game was so bad against Buffalo Monday night, 5-1 loss to the Sabres, that they had a players-only meeting. A players-only meeting that, unfortunately for them, did not result in a win the very next game against Montreal, losing 3-2 in a shootout. So short turnaround revenge spot. I normally like those when two teams are playing each other in just days apart like this. But there is no denying whatsoever how much of a struggle and how bad of a tough spot this has been for these teams on 5+ game road trips returning home for that first game. It's been brutal for these teams. It's been a real struggle for these teams in this situation. And that's what we have here with Winnipeg here. So I don't think I can do it. I want to, but I don't, 5-game road trip coming back home teams. And I think what's making these spots even harder for teams coming home for the first time off a road trip, first game off a road trip, is the condensed schedule. You're just playing so many games in a short period of time. You don't have your legs early in the game. You got, more distractions because you have even less time to handle family matters and family issues and personal issues when you get home. And it's just, I think it's even making these spots worse for the home team coming home off a road trip. So that's why I'm going to stay off taking Winnipeg. I lean that way, but, teams have been rotten in these home game spots after a roadie. It's been constant. It's been repetitive. It's been, the Islanders in this spot, the Oilers in this spot, Ottawa last night in this spot. You go on and on and on. And Tampa Bay, for goodness sake, coming off a road trip last night against Pittsburgh, and they lose. So, I mean, it's just been constant how rough it has been for these kind of teams in this spot. So I'd like to bet Winnipeg, but I can't. In fact, this is not a game I have much involvement with pregame. Total wise, not at 6.5. I'm going to wait for something live if I attack the over here in this game. We'll see what's going to happen in net. Comrie's already been confirmed. I thought Comrie had one of his better games against Montreal, despite the losing cause there. I thought he gave them a chance. Pick the pack of pickled peppers. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's going to get the start here tonight for Buffalo. Your guess is as good as mine what we're going to get from him. He was in the net for the 5-1 win against Winnipeg on Monday. Can he play that way again? We'll see, but I'm not always willing to bank on it with him. Consistency has always been his thing in a negative since he's been in the NHL with this Sabres team. Alex, what do you think here, Buffalo, Winnipeg?
This is a full pass. I don't even think I get to watch this game because I'll be focusing in on Jersey and Vegas at the same time. So it's a pass.
All right, pass for Alex here in this one. I do have a couple props. I'll get to those in a moment. First, Matt, what do you think here, Sabres, Jets?
Yeah, I've got a couple props on this one as well. I see Doan is over plus 300. He won't be, or that play won't be my bargain bin. But I do, he's on a 3-game point streak. I know he's moved down the lineup a little bit, but he's still on that first power play unit. So he's a guy, I'll always take a look at. For me, though, I kind of like the first period over in this one. Winnipeg is 6-4, but Buffalo's 7-3 in their last 10. I think given the closeness of these games, neither goalie is screaming to me, oh, don't take the first period over in this one. I do agree. I don't know that I like the full game over at 6.5. I think, this could very easily be a 3-2 game. But I think, revenge spot, I think Buffalo, has picked things up a little bit. I could see 2 goals in the first period in this one, and then I could see it slow down. So I may take a shot on the first period over here. Just going off team trends, both of them are over 50% in their last 10. So, sometimes I think in those revenge spots, or not even revenge spots, just when two teams play close together, you come out and you want to, especially the team that was on the losing side of that game recently, you want to come out and have a good start, but then things can kind of fill into place. So may take a shot on the first period over, but that's it for me. I don't really like either of these sides. I could make a case for taking Buffalo, but I would need it to be a little higher than plus 105 on the road. Winnipeg is not in great form per se, but I think they can definitely win this game at home. So don't really like either of the sides. So if anything, it'll be a first period over for me.
All right, there we go. As far as props for me here with Buffalo and Josh Norris, yeah, absolutely. A goal, assist, point, any props you like with Josh Norris, I couldn't talk you out of it. He's gotten a point in both games since he's returned. He had 2 goals against Winnipeg, this very Jets team, and his return to the lineup on Monday. Jason Zucker has goals in back-to-back games. And Jonathan is mentioning in the chat Bo Byram point, which makes a lot of sense. He's been starting to heat up, jump into the play, activate from the blue line, become more involved in the offense for the Sabres. I'll go one step further and say bet his goal prop. He scored in back-to-back games for the Buffalo Sabres, Bo Byram, on the blue line. And you can get him at way more than a bargain bin range, like plus 750 in some spots for him to score a goal. So Bo and Byram, I think, definitely worth a look here for the Sabres. There's definitely some value there on that side of the equation. As far as the Winnipeg Jets go, Cole Perfetti and Velarde, on their respective lines, I think those are the guys that have been kind of, and certainly Velarde, Scheifele, and Connor have been keeping the team afloat. The problem for the Jets right now is third and fourth line is giving them bubkiss offensively in recent games, and that's eventually going to have to fix itself, if Winnipeg's going to get out of this funk that they've been in. By the way, another nugget that kind of got me away from taking Winnipeg. Buffalo went to Winnipeg and beat them last year. Actually, Buffalo won in Winnipeg last year. So like I said, it's just not seeing enough out of the Jets coming off a road trip. There's enough red flags here to say no thank you to the Jets. Now, maybe if they're behind, do I take them at plus money? Maybe, but not pregame for me. All right, San Jose, Dallas. We've got Dallas minus 280, home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Dallas obviously coming back home following just a mini road trip that they had this week through the Rangers and the Devils. 3-2 loss to the Rangers in overtime, but bounced back to shut out and blank the New Jersey Devils 3-0 the other night. So Dallas looking to build on that going into this game against the San Jose Sharks. It's been, pretty solid what they've been able to do with no Duchesne and now Tyler Seguin obviously out for the majority, if not the entire season. Leon Bichel on IR still. Thomas Harley still out on the blue line for the Dallas Stars, but still managed to find ways to win games. 5-1 in their last 6, 7-3 in their last 10 games. So it's been a nice run here for the Dallas Stars. There's a bit of a dangerous spot, though, and I'll say this because of San Jose. You never want to get a team coming off an embarrassment. And obviously, San Jose got absolutely steamrolled by Washington, 7-1. It was one of the worst games they've had. They haven't had many, but they've had a couple. That game, the Colorado game, was pretty ugly for them as well. But yeah, to be losing by that kind of magnitude, not something they want to have happen. It is worth noting, last time they lost by a margin like that and played that poorly was when they got shut out 6-0 by Colorado. They did bounce back to beat Vancouver next game 3-2. That being said, obviously Dallas a whole lot tougher, a whole lot better than Vancouver. But I would expect San Jose to have a focused, dialed-in start to this hockey game tonight against the Dallas Stars. And you do have Dallas coming home off the road, and sometimes, especially against, they're not the weakling Dallas San Jose Sharks of last year or 2 years ago, but they're still viewed by opponents, I'm sure, as kind of a weaker team when you think about it, compared to, especially in Dallas's division, when you're dealing with Colorado and certain other teams. So I think tonight, off that debacle against Washington, I think San Jose first goal of the first period has some real value. I really think so. I think that's something worth looking at. Now, I don't trust San Jose fully for this whole game because the one thing we know about Dallas is that even if they start sluggish, and slow against a certain opponent, how many times have they erased these deficits and come back and won the hockey games at home? They've done this a lot. All you have to do is look at the Utah game. They were down. They came back and they won. But there's a handful of examples of that where they've had slow starts and come back, or they've given up a goal to the opponent in the first period and then went on to victory, like the Ottawa game. Ottawa ended up scoring in the first period, and Dallas ended up winning that game 6-1. So, like I said, I think that first goal of the first period's worth a shot. I like that Ryan Warsofsky is going right back to Askarov, coming off, one of the roughest games he's had in a while against Washington. He got pulled for Nedeljkovic in that Washington game, and you come right back to him. I like that. It shows you have confidence in the kid, and he was playing terrific for you before that game against Washington. So I like the idea of Warsofsky going right back to him. So I do think there's a tremendous value with that, with San Jose first goal of the first period in this game. Not to mention because Dallas is such a big favorite here. We're talking just shy of minus 300 in this game with the Dallas Stars as a significant home favorite. In this game, you can also get the not only the great price with the plus 185 at FanDuel for the San Jose first goal of the first period, but just San Jose to get a first period goal is minus 120 in that range. If you want to play it safe, if you're worried that it's Dallas 1-0 and then San Jose ties it 1-1, you could just opt to bet San Jose goal in the first period at minus 120. So I did bet that as well. San Jose goal in the first period minus 120 and a piece of the plus 185 for San Jose first goal of the first period as well. San Jose first period money line. That's that one I don't like nearly as much because I don't know if they're going to fully keep Dallas off the scoreboard early, but I don't mind a dabble in the first period money line on San Jose, but that would be it. I don't think I trust San Jose to win the hockey game. I'm more banking on San Jose in those first 20 minutes, right after that 7-1 loss. Be ready to rock. You're catching Dallas in that first 20 minutes off the road, where sometimes you need that first 20 minutes to get your legs under you. So that's, to me, the biggest edge for San Jose if you're going to like them in this spot. It's the first period. Trust them more there than the full game. Alex, what do you think here? Sharks, Stars?
Yeah, this may be one where I play, like I said, San Jose to score in the first period and both teams to score in the first period. But I don't like that first period over pregame, minus 135, 140. I can wait for that to knock down a little bit. Even the same with the full game at 6. I'd rather grab a 5.5 than that spot. So this will be a good live look game. But pregame, I will have San Jose goal in first period and both teams score in the first.
Yeah, I lean overs here too, but the one thing that kind of I've noticed is that San Jose, when they got creamed by Colorado 6-0, they tightened it up big time. It was a low and slow game the next time after they got shut out by Colorado. They got blown out, and they ended up in a 3-2 game. So I'm kind of worried that could be the case here. So I lean over. I mean, I certainly do, but like I said, that's kind of keeping me from liking the overs in this game more. Is that the fact that Sharks, last time they were in this spot, they really focused on locking in defensively, which they might do here when they give up a 7 spot. We'll see coming off a game like that against Washington. Matt, what do you think here? Your Dallas Stars, what do you think here against San Jose?
Yeah, this will be a fun one. I'm supposed to catch the game with my buddy Taylor and a few other guys in the area that are Sharks fans, because for a lot of them growing up, that was the closest team. Vegas didn't exist back then. San Jose.
So you're in an area, Reno, Tahoe, where there's a lot of San Jose fans, huh?
Yeah, for sure. And you've got, I mean, the San Jose is 3 hours away. Vegas is about an 8-hour drive, so it's still the closest team.
That's true. Yeah.
So looking forward to watching the game tonight at the bar over a few beers. But it's funny you mentioned that, Ian. I said the same thing to Taylor. Obviously, do I think Dallas is the better team overall? Sure. They are at home. The AAC is a great spot, for a Friday night game. Jason Demers has talked about that on the Betcast before. Friday nights, Saturday nights at the AAC are generally, good spots for Dallas. But it's tough to take or bet against it. First off, I'm not betting Dallas minus 280. In a normal spot, I may take a shot on Dallas puck line here. But given the fact San Jose just got blown out at home, that's not a good time to bet against San Jose. They are a young, bounce back, short-term memory team. They have a lot of skill up front. So I think it's going to be an exciting game. I do agree with you. on the overs being maybe a live look, but what I am going to do is I'm definitely going to do a same game parlay here because San Jose is 9-1 to the first period over. Dallas will be looking to get off to a good start. I like your look on San Jose. Again, I said I had no pregame sides here, but this will be a great spot that if San Jose scores, in the first 5 minutes, that I, lean over to Dallas. And especially if it gets to 2-0 San Jose, then I'll double down because that I don't know why it's been working this year, but when Dallas goes down 2-0 to a team that is maybe lesser than them, it's always worth a look. I grabbed that Utah 2-0. We were at the arena, so I was able to get in right away. I think it was plus 230 or something when they were down 2-0, 235. So that was a nice hit. So that's definitely something I'll be looking at. I do have a bargain bin from this game. And then there's a couple other props I like, but to not give it away now, I'll talk about all those at the end. So yeah, for me, it'll be a first period full game over 5.5 play. I will be looking to grab Dallas live if they go down, one, especially 2 goals early. I do think San Jose comes out with some motivation to have a good start. So the other, to Alex's point, I think both teams to score is not a terrible look here because I do think, Dallas is fully capable of pocketing one. They're just it's inevitable. They like to give one up early, and San Jose will be really wanting to score one early. So I think it's a good spot for a San Jose first goal.
All right, good stuff there on San Jose, Dallas. I like Sam Steele, Jamie Benn. If I'm going to look at Dallas props, I like them on the left wing side of those top 2 lines. I think if I were to go San Jose, this is one of those games I wouldn't reinvent the wheel for San Jose props. Focus coming off a drubbing like that against Washington, who are going to deliver the goods more than likely. Eklund, maybe the veteran Tyler Toffoli, who's been heating up lately, Celebrini and Smith. Like, keep it to that group because if they're going to get something going offensively tonight, it's likely going to come from one of those sources here tonight in this game. Definitely, I don't mind the first period over. I might take that and just wait for the live over in game. I might do something like that. We'll see, because I definitely don't love it pregame with the 6 heavily shaded and 6.5 in some spots right now with the full game total here. All right, next, and by the way, Ottinger, no surprise for Dallas in net, along, of course, with Askarov for the Sharks. We've got Utah, Vancouver next up. Utah minus 130, road favorite, 6.5 the total. I said after the Calgary and Nashville victories last night in our group chat for our guy Rich H, who's now in Mexico, but obviously from Vancouver, Canucks fan, look away when I posted that Vancouver's now dead last in the NHL. NHL, that is, dead last after last night's game. So it has hit rock bottom here for this Vancouver Canucks team. And like I said, I don't know if here's the problem now. You think probably a few days ago before they thumped Anaheim, Utah's down and out on their luck right now. They can't get out of their own way. They had lost 4 in a row, and they were 2-7 in 9 games before that 7-0 win against Anaheim on Wednesday night. But now you got a Utah team you're going to have to play here in Vancouver that's now a Utah team that's got a little pep in their step again, a little swagger and a little mojo back. And you know how I feel about teams that snap a losing streak. Sometimes I want to back them after snapping the losing streak. I'd be very reluctant to fade them after snapping a losing streak. So this to me is a Utah one-way game for me, Utah or nothing, but minus 130 on the road is not a great price. Might try to take a shot that maybe Vancouver, urgency to get on track here after, 3 straight losses, 2-8 in their last 10 back home. Although home ice has been miserable for Vancouver, 3-8 at home this year for the Vancouver Canucks. Utah or pass. I don't love the price enough to really dive in big pregame. I'll sprinkle a small bet on Utah pregame at minus 130, but that's not a price I like to make it a full, bigger, regular sized bet for me at a minus 130 pregame. But there's no touching Vancouver for me right now. There's real problems. Now all of a sudden, when that over streak was going for Vancouver, and now they've gone under in 3 straight games. But a big reason why that crazy over streak was going on because they were always giving up tons of goals, but at least they were scoring goals. They had games where they scored 3, they scored 4, they scored 5, they scored 6. You're not seeing that now. They've only scored 4 goals in the last 3 games combined versus Colorado, LA, and San Jose. So, like I said, all of a sudden now they're not scoring, making it even worse and putting even more pressure on a defense that's not keeping the puck out of the net. And obviously a goaltending situation that's been all over the place. Demko's still on IR. Lankinen hasn't been close to what he was last year. And you've got Tolopilo, who right now is still growing. So, and trying to get comfortable. And it looks like tonight in net, it's going to be Lankinen again for Vancouver. It looks like Vimelka for Utah, but not confirmed. And Lankinen, again, the numbers, 4-game losing streak. He has a 1-7 record in his last 8 starts. 1-7, 3.42 goals against average. It's just not the numbers we were seeing from Kevin Lankinen last year. The thing about Lankinen last year, and Alex knows this, his best performances were on the road last year.
That's right.
So, and actually at home, he was nothing special. So now you're not even getting the road performances out of him. And at home, just like the team, he struggled there. So, yeah, I could only look Utah. Don't love it at -130, but there's no way I'm on Vancouver right now. Can't touch this team. It's a toxic situation. I feel my heart actually sinks for Quinn Hughes. Every time I'm seeing this guy post game after a game, it's like he lost a family member or at a funeral or something just now. He looks so depressed. He looks so it looks like the emotion and the passion for hockey is being drained from this guy right now with what's going on in Vancouver. And it's a sad thing to witness. Alex, what do you think? Utah, Vancouver.
Yeah, I agree. They need to get that man with his family in New Jersey and get ready for. I'm sure the Google searches for Gavin McKenna in the British Columbia province have to be through the roof.
Rich is already thinking that. So about this Gavin kid, yeah. Way to go, Rich. Mr. Positivity. That's why we love you.
So everybody in Vancouver is now becoming Penn State fans for the rest of college hockey season. But jokes aside, I mean, yeah, this definitely looks like a Utah or nothing game. And there's ways to attack Utah. I'm not jumping in -130. I don't even really, like the +130 in regulation as much as I do first period puck line. Laying the half a goal +164 over at FanDuel, as JD mentioned in the chat, 1-7-9 for Vancouver the last 17 games in the first period. So Utah could easily get out and jump out to a hot start, especially rolling after that big 7-0 win on TNT against a good Anaheim team. And now you're playing this lowly Vancouver team. You should definitely be able to get out of the first period with a lead. So that's all I need there. Just give me the first period puck line there with the Mammoth.
And apparently this was something that happened a little, obviously a few months ago, but apparently we only found out publicly about it, or they only disclosed it publicly the last couple of days. But yes, absolute tragedy for Pedersen there, Elias Pedersen and his wife, miscarriage of their child. I mean, just horrible, devastating, sad, just the pain's unimaginable, I'm sure, for them. So, you're struggling on the ice, and now one of your top players on the team now is going through an unimaginable personal tragedy right now. So, like I said, when it rains, it pours for this poor Vancouver Canucks team right now. But definitely well wishes to that family, because that's there's not much more devastating you could experience than the loss of your child and miscarriage. Just terrible stuff. Matt, your thoughts on this game here, Utah, Vancouver?
So a lot of alignment with everything you guys mentioned. To me, it's Utah or bust. Vancouver's down bad, to say the least. And then, now there's rumors flying around about potential Quinn Hughes. Like, it's just in shambles. I feel like, for a while it was like, okay, everyone's on the table except Quinn Hughes. And now I'm even seeing, Detroit's in the mix to potentially make a trade for Quinn Hughes. Things are not going well in Vancouver, to say the least. I'm going to take a shot with Utah regulation +120, and then Utah team total +105. I think, both are fair looks. I am going to be on the first period over as well. Vancouver's 8-2 in their last 10. And then we've got Utah at 7-3. Shouts to Chris Otto for always having those readily available. It's something I look at a lot because, I love betting first period over. So shouts to Chris on that. But so I'll be on, Utah and then the first period over. And then I'm going to take a shot. It's not my bargain bin, although it is bargain bin material. Daniel Butt BUT,
Boot.
playing in
Boot.
his second
Yeah.
NHL game. He's on that second line with Cooley and Gunther. I think he pops his first NHL goal tonight. So give me Daniel Butt anytime goal plus like 330, just as sort of a fun prop. I was kind of looking through the roster. I'm like, who is that? And 6'6", 220-pound 20-year-old that's playing on the second line. So
And he had
I
17
think he
points in
popped one.
19 games in the AHL.
Yeah,
So he was
Tucson, yeah.
producing
Yeah.
down there with
Yeah.
Tucson.
Perlo, I know Perlo's high on him. He was
Yeah.
talking about him when he got called up the other day. So
Yeah. So, just one of those things where you see it, you're like, who the fuck is that? He's rocking 19, which is, my favorite number. So I'm going to take a shot on him to score tonight as well. But outside of that, Utah regulation, Utah team total, and the first period over. That'll be my plays on this one.
Yeah, good stuff indeed. So, definitely something to keep in mind. This guy actually played over in Lokomotiv, Yaroslavl, KHL. He's played in the KHL, that kid, at a young age as well.
Yeah,
so,
he was
that's
in the
good to know.
KHL. Yeah, he played 15 games and had 2 goals in 2022, which, he's 20 years old right now. So that would put him at 16, 17 years old, and able to, pocket a goal in the second best league in the world. So I would have high hopes for him too. So I didn't see his first game, the last Utah game, but I'll definitely be checking out this game because I'm interested to see what he's like. But yeah, gonna take a shot on him to score tonight.
Yeah, Beth, I don't mind it at all. Makes a lot of sense. And up on the second line, so Andre Tourigny is giving him that opportunity. No question about that. So, like I said, I don't mind the look to Daniil here to get the maybe get on the board here for the Utah Mammoth here in this game for them here. I like that first period. The first period over, I just saw at -130. I just saw -130 at the reduced juice book Pinnacle. So I will bet that now. I'm going to wait for because I'm kind of interested in the live over, but not at this number. I'm going to try I think we could get a 5.5 at some point. And that's what I'm starting to do with these 6.5s is just wait till we get that opportunity to pounce on the 5.5. All right, next up, we've got Washington taking on Anaheim, the final game of this Friday slate. Capitals looks like 145 road favorites here in this game, and the total sitting at 6.5 across the board. Joel Quenneville summed it up best about the 7-0 shellacking against Utah the other night for Anaheim, and that was on TNT as well. Imagine, having a game like that too on TNT, and the Ducks, aren't going to be on TNT a ton this year. But like I said, they get on TNT and they have one of their worst games of the year, 7-0 loss to Utah. But Joel Quenneville summed it up perfectly. Any positives you can take from this? That it's over. It was his response. So there you go. That tells you all you need to know. So obviously, look, you got a very, very good young team that's coming off a terrible loss like that. Even Radko Gudas, the veteran, said, terrible to play like that in front of the home fans. So I'd expect a much better effort. But boy, oh boy, man, this Washington team's a freight train right now. People that have been stepping in front of them saying, oh, bad spot. Nope, they still win. Bad spot. Nope, they still win. San Jose on a back-to-back who've been awesome at home. Nope, still win. Crush them. This Washington team's just been absolutely rolling right now. So my sentiments with Anaheim here are very similar to what I said earlier about San Jose. Anaheim early, yes. I think Anaheim early, we could see them get on the board. So whether it's goal in the first period for Anaheim, I think that's something to look at. I'm definitely going to be on Anaheim first goal of the first period. I do like that here in this game. You would expect energy right off the shoot here at home, coming off that 7-0 shutout loss to the Utah Mammoth. And the price is very good once again with that. First goal, first period for the Ducks here is plus 130, a pretty good price at FanDuel for that. And I will bet the first period goal bet for Anaheim, but I'm going to wait for it. Too expensive now at -175, but we can wait to get Anaheim goal in the first period. All we got to do is wait 3, 4, 5 minutes. And if they go that long without a goal, we're going to get a good price on it in game. But I will bet first goal, first period, pregame Anaheim plus 130. I will bet a small over by Fecta here because the system is in play here off a shutout loss. The reason why I don't love this one as much as, say, the New Jersey is because we're dealing with 6.5, not 5.5. And because of the fact that Logan Thompson's really freaking good right now, like really, really playing well, and he's going to be in net for the Capitals tonight in this game. So he's been really good. Now they go back to Ville Husso in net for Anaheim. That's the only move to make. okay, because they put Vyacheslav, the backup, in because they pulled Husso, obviously, against Utah. They put Vyacheslav in for his. Can you imagine that? You wait all your life to you make your NHL debut, and you come in and mop up duty in a blowout loss. But that was the case for Vyacheslav, and he didn't look great. I'll be honest. He did not look great. He did not look NHL ready. So you have no choice right now. Mrazek's out. Dostal's out. You have to ride the guy that's at least got the significant NHL experience in Ville Husso. And that's why you can't come right back to him here after a game like that. And that's another thing, too, that worries me about these overs here is that Husso is a prideful goalie, and he's capable. And after a game like that, he's going to want to play a lot better for the Anaheim Ducks. So that's why I'm keeping the over by Fecta small bet. I'm on Anaheim primarily first goal, first period. We'll look at an Anaheim goal in the first period live. But I like that plus 130. That's my favorite look. First period, first goal, because we like this Anaheim team. Alex and I in particular, we think there's enough character even in this very young group to come out of the gate storming after a loss like that. Alex, what do you think? Capitals, Ducks.
Yeah, I grabbed that too, that plus 130 with first goal and first period. I also have two bargain bins in this game. One of them is related to first goal of the game. So definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, this is one where I can't trust Anaheim in a full 60 minutes. Yes, Husso is a prideful, capable goalie, but like I said, after getting shelled like that, and we're seeing some defensive breakdowns, this could be, possibly the worst stretch of hockey we see from Anaheim this season.
Yep.
And it makes sense when you're down to your third string and fourth string goaltenders. That's what you're expecting to happen. Struggle. So no way I'm jumping in front of. I learned my lesson after the last game, trying to jump in front of Washington with San Jose. Not doing that again.
Damn sure. Yeah.
You ain't gotta hit me in the head but once, as my mom would say. So give me Anaheim first goal, first period, and then like I said, I have two arguments. There'll be one from each side of this game.
All right. Good stuff. And again, because the system's in play, one of the teams is off a shutout loss, that being Anaheim. I am on the over by Fecta, but I don't love this one. There's a smaller over by Fecta for me here. Capitals, Ducks. Matt, what do you think here? Final game, Washington to Anaheim.
I mean, typically I would back Anaheim in this position if they were playing almost anyone else in the NHL, but I'm not. I also was on San Jose the other night, and again, I mentioned it earlier, a lot of San Jose friends. I was like, hey, this is a great spot for San Jose, and then that one didn't look so well. Didn't look so good very quickly. So a little embarrassing on my end to be so confident and then watch them lose 7-1. But Washington's on a tear, so not going to take a side on this one. I do lean overs, given that you've got the second and third highest scoring offenses in the league. I think what I'm going to do with this, again, we've got the team off a shutout angle. So I love the first period in this one. So I'm going to do first period full game parlayed Matty Rob special plus 105 on MGM. I think that, having that at 5.5, I feel a lot more confident than 6.5. We get to 6, maybe it's a 4-2 game. Maybe the Ducks score early, Washington ends up 3-2 and grabs an empty net, whatever it may be. But I feel pretty good about that. I think we'll get 2 goals in the first, and then I think we'll get to that 6 number. Don't hate it at 6.5. I know, you can get a decent price on it. But I just, if I can get it down to a 5.5, I feel really good about it. So that'll be my my play on this one is the Matty Rob special.
All right. Excellent.
And just to quickly address in the chat, I was reading where it said, would it be better to wait in game for first goal, first period? No, not necessarily, because obviously that number is going to fluctuate with how the game pace is going. If there's a power play for Anaheim, you're not getting anything close to 130. And if just game flow is going, it's going to be a different adjusted price. So that first goal, first period price, we grab those plus prices pre-game to avoid any adjustment in game to where we may not get anything to that around that number.
There we go. Yep. Great advice. No doubt about it. There we go. Post the, there it is. There it is. There's the comment Alex was referencing there. Yeah. There it is. So definitely, like I said, that's a good sage advice for dealing with that market. And that market's been a godsend. Alex was the first to experiment with it and use it.
In the postseason, It was last playoffs where it first popped up on MGM and FanDuel, and then they started adding it during the regular season. So we've been rolling with it.
MGM, FanDuel, DraftKings. Those are the three that have that. So I always get asked, where can I find that? Because not everybody at Bet365, and I love Bet365. They don't even have it.
Nope.
Yeah, they don't even have it. So, like I said, BetMGM, FanDuel, Caps have scored first in 12 of 14. Everything must come to an end, Jonathan. I like Anaheim to get the first goal tonight. You're going to be a little step slow at some point if you're Washington and bet early. But again, Washington can come back and win the game. That's how well they're playing right now. And don't forget, they've got Thompson, who's been good of late. He had a little bobble there for a bit, Logan Thompson, and then he started playing well once again. As far as props go for this game tonight, I'm just looking at the lineups. Probably Protas. Wilson's obviously been great. Ryan Leonard eating up. Maybe this could be a Ryan Leonard type of look here on the Washington side. For Anaheim, obviously tonight you got. I would think tonight's a Leo Carlson. It seems like when they are off a bad game or a loss, that's when Leo Carlson really steps to the forefront. It could be a good Uncle Leo night. Leo Carlson possibly for my favorite player to look at.
And that's important, right?
Yeah.
With this team growing and building, who's the real heartbeat of this team? When they need a big comeback win, like you said, who's going to be the guy to step up? And Carlson seems to be that guy.
Yeah, no doubt. Leo Carlson, maybe Cutter Gauthier, because he's got 5 goals in the last 6-7 games or so. Those could be someone to look at. Beckett Seneca to score first for Anaheim, says Jonathan, 10-1. So there we go. Taking the big man here to find maybe the back of the net for the Anaheim Ducks here in this game. That's a good late game, though. A very intriguing game. Washington's rolling, and how does Anaheim respond against this red-hot Washington team? It's a great watch in the late night hours tonight. Capitals and Ducks. All right, great stuff. Before we get to running the ads and all that, and best bet and bargain bin special of the night, Matt, on Friday when he joins us, we do a little Saturday look ahead, just an early look toward the Saturday card. So a couple of games, a couple of bets that maybe stick out to Matt. Looking ahead to Saturday, Matt, that Saturday board, as always, it's big. What's catching your eye when it comes to Saturday in the NHL?
Yeah, a couple looks. There's a couple 5.5s out there that I kind of like that I think will end up, moving upwards into 6.5. Boston hosting New Jersey is one that I'm sort of eyeing. I think it does. That one I'm going to wait a little bit before I lock in, just given there's 2 actually that are back to back. So we'll see how tonight's game goes for New Jersey, but I think they're going to want to get something going on the road. Boston, has been sort of an overtrending team. So that's one that I like. St. Louis, Ottawa is another one that I'm seeing 5.5s out there for. Ottawa is kind of picking things up offensively, still kind of struggling defensively. St. Louis has kind of been a lost cause, one of the worst teams in the West. So that's one that I'm looking at pretty heavily. The Jets Oilers one, I really like the over on. The only thing that kind of pulls me away is that the Jets do play Buffalo tonight. So, they're not traveling super far. They'll be going to Edmonton. I just want to see how tonight's game goes, but that's one I have big time circled. 2 teams trending to overs. With Hellebuck out, the Jets have been much more of an over team than maybe they would historically. And we talked about it earlier in the show, or I think pre-show. Edmonton is one of those teams that it seems like they have 8 goals in multiple games, but sometimes it's against them, sometimes it's for them. They've just had kind of these crazy games. They had that game in Florida, then they got waxed by Dallas. Then they went 9-4 last night. They're just kind of an all over the board team, but they are trending to the over. And then last but not least, I also have my eye on the over in that Seattle-Detroit game. Detroit's been a great over team for me lately. The question is, Seattle is one of the worst offenses in the league. So I think that game is going to depend on, maybe who's in net for Detroit, things like that. So it's always tough with overs, looking the day ahead, just because, especially with a couple back-to-backs, you have goalie changes and all that fun stuff.
Holy shit. I just see something now with that. You mentioned that Detroit-Seattle, 6 straight overs in the series.
Yeah.
With Detroit-Seattle. Wow.
Yeah, and that was one I think I saw. I don't have it in front of me. I think I saw that it's already at 6.5. So to me, that could be a great opportunity for a There's 6s out there, so
There's
I
a
would
five
probably
and a
jump on
half
that
at
at 6.
FanDuel on that game.
Okay.
5.5 minus
Yeah.
128 right now. So
Yeah. Then that's to me probably outside of that Jets Oilers that I have circled, and I want to see how the Jets game goes tonight. That's probably my best bet for tomorrow's card is Wings Kraken over 5.5. I think Detroit's just been one of those teams. They give up a few, they score a few. They're just consistently been kind of an over team for me this year so far. So that's a look I like a lot going into tomorrow. But yeah, outside of that, I would lean over in that Avs Rangers game just because the Avs are coming off.
I will find
their
a way to
second-
have Colorado and some. You don't even have to wait for Saturday. I'll tell you this right now. I'll have Colorado in some fashion on my card tomorrow. Bounce
Yeah,
back
I
after a
almost
rare loss. Rangers stink at home.
Yeah, to be honest, I had sort of written down puck line on that one. Like I think the Avs win that game by 4 or 5 goals. What scares me with the over in that game is New York is so spotty at home. I mean, they were talking about it on the broadcast the other night in that Dallas game. I mean, Panarin has like 3 points at home this year. Zibanejad has like 4 points at home this year, which is crazy. We're 26, 27 games into the season. So yeah, I think Avs puck line, team total, there might be a few different bets out there for me. Avs regulation. We'll kind of see what the odds look like tomorrow.
early start time freaks me out in that one though.
12:30. Yes, for the team from the Mountain Time Zone. Yes, I hear you.
10:30 internal clock. Yeah.
Nice.
So
yeah, that's the one little fly in the ointment, maybe with that game.
But yeah, and then the other one that I kind of was interested in, but it was already a 6.5 everywhere I looked, was Montreal, Toronto. I feel like that's two teams that's an over series. I know the last time they met, it went over. But that might be one that I look at live. It's always an exciting game to watch when those two teams get together. So that might be a live overlook for me.
I'd probably still, you probably still have to maybe look Detroit, Seattle over, but the only little concern would be Seattle's coming off giving up 9, and Detroit's coming off giving up 6. Do they dig in defensively? And we know Seattle can play that low and slow style, but you can't argue with series history, man. 7-0-2 to the over, and the 9 all-time meetings, Kraken Red Wings, all at least 6 goals. So if you can find the 5.5s that are out there on that, so I get it totally.
Yep.
And these series history overs have been crushing it. How many times have we seen a series history dominant over has been crushing it? Detroit, Columbus. There's some Buffalo, Philly the night before. Montreal, Ottawa. Just this week alone. Look at all these overs where the series history has been dominant to the over, and it just hit another over. Buffalo, Philly, Montreal, Ottawa. Last night, Detroit, Columbus. So you just probably have to buy into the history with Seattle, Detroit, possibly tomorrow. The only other thing I'll say about tomorrow's card before we move on is that you don't even have to think about it. If Wallsted's confirmed in, and I'm sure he will be, Minnesota in some form for me, no question, against lowly Vancouver tomorrow night. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat at the like button. We appreciate it very much. Make sure you check out wizardsportspicks.com. Again, great stable of handicappers. Make sure you check them all out. We got lots of cappers in great form on the website. I saw Alex is now part of the Beyond the Line series now as well.
That was a mix up. There's Alex Smart, who's a handicapper on there, and then myself, and they got the videos. I'm not on the video series, but they used my footage. Yeah, me and Dana had a funny conversation about that this morning. So my picks are there, but I'm not on the video series.
It's Alex, but not the guy you know is Alex.
Right, exactly.
All right, good. Yeah. Good for the clarification there. But check it out. I'm there. Alex is there. Matt's there. Picks. By the way, I should bring this up on the screen. I mentioned it yesterday that I am obviously the number one on the site as far as all-time NHL, but not in the short term. Let's bring this up here. I happen to notice this here. Look at overall. There's a Matt Robinson right there. I'll have to make it a little bigger here.
Very
there
nice.
we go. But there it is. Matt Robinson, third right now, the last 30 days, all sports. So there you go. NHL, I think he's right at the top, too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there you go. Last 30 days. There he is. Number one with the results right there, Matt Robinson. So there you go, Matt. Take a bow.
Woo! Good stuff, man.
I'm still waiting for him. I mean, you guys know this. Everyone in the chat knows this, but I love first period overs, and I've been kind of harping I get it. You don't want to get too deep in the weeds and have, second half bets in college football and all this. It gets pretty deep. But in hockey, I feel like first period and full game are two things that are pretty commonly bet. So there's been a couple beyond the line shows where I've gone 2-1, 2-1 in first period overs, but none of those actually count towards my score.
Right. Yeah.
Because I can't place those bets. But once first period overs are on there, I think you'll see a boost in my
I've
picks
already
per day,
given Dana grief for not having first period overs as an option.
Yeah, we have to.
But it will happen. He says it will happen.
Yeah.
It takes
So
time.
once those go live, I think you'll see a boost in numbers and posts. But yeah, outside, obviously the three of us are doing well at Wizard Sports Picks. There's a lot of people on heaters, and it's nice now because you can really look at a breakdown. If you like to bet NBA or college basketball, you can kind of look at who's hot right now, who's been good the last 3-7 days. So make sure and check it out.
Yeah, that's what's great, about the transparency that we really want for the site. Dana wants it for the site. We all want it for the site. You can look at last 3 days, last 7 days, last 30 days, and all-time results in every sport and all sports combined, which is great. So it makes wizardsportspicks.com a great investment if you want to get on board with premium picks. All right, also patreon.com/iceguys, $10 per month. Go. Now, that's definitely a great investment. My gosh, $10 per month with the friggin' card we posted yesterday on the Patreon page, all those dogs hitting. My goodness. Goalie charts, totals charts, all the bonus content. Make sure you check it out. Again, we had our December Patreon exclusive live betcast, but we got many more of those coming up in the future. And of course, our daily betting card, sides, totals, player props, posted each and every day on the Patreon page. Get on board. Your subscription and membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. Get on board at $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. This is still Cyber Week. You've got 3 days left to save 20% on all orders in the store. Get it in time for the holidays as well. Hit the redeem button at the top of the page, add your items to the cart, and 20% will be taken off at checkout. We've got everything in stock right now. It's a great time to get a gift for yourself or for a loved one for the holidays. Don't miss out. 20% off all weekend long at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Great stuff. All right, get on board with that sale and get your merch and gear before Christmas if you get your order placed right away. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all. What the hell is that? All right, there we go. What's that? The StreamYard's acting up here. My goodness, I'm hitting remove and it's putting people up on the best bet cam. Yeah, it's StreamYard does that every now and then. But we're back and that was Royal Cannabis, right? 20% off. Promo code Ice Guys. Check it out. RoyalCannabisShop.com. There we go. All right, we're back and ready to go. A bargain bin special of the night. We're in a little cool spell, a little dry spell. The bargain bin special of the night. It's going to happen eventually at some point. That's the only negative about this week. We've been crushing the sides and the totals and the first periods and the first goal bets and all this, but a little dry and a little cooling off with this bargain bin. But never fear, We could have a winner tonight on the horizon. Alex, we'll start with you. Bargain bin special of the night.
Yeah, it's a little hard to follow up on 19 last month, but let's try and get it going tonight. And I got two of them that I like, and they're both in the same game. Anaheim hosting Washington. Let's start with the visitors first. And someone mentioned in the chat he's been playing very well. Ryan Leonard. I like him to get an anytime goal. You can get that right on the cusp at plus 310 over at FanDuel for an anytime goal. So that's Ryan Leonard of the Washington Capitals, bargain bin special number one. Bargain bin special number two, as I said, we both like Anaheim to get the first goal in the first period, plus 130. I believe it'll be Mr. Troy Terry that gets that first goal of the game. You can get that at FanDuel, plus 1,800. So that's Ryan Leonard for the Washington Capitals, anytime goal, plus 310. Troy Terry of the Anaheim Ducks to get the first goal of the game at 1,800. It's my two Friday night bargain bin specials.
All right, there you go. Two bargain bin specials for Alex. Matt, what do you got for bargain bin special of the night?
Yeah, I actually have two as well. We're on a little bit of a cold streak, so let's get it going tonight. It's going to be a couple common names, but I've got a good reasoning why. So first, we'll go to that Dallas-San Jose game. There's a guy that I know you mentioned. He's got 7 points in his last 6 games. He's after his lung collapse issue. He's been a very good player for them. He's playing sort of like he used to, back like he's prime Jamie Benn. He's on that line with Robertson and Hentz. So give me Jamie Benn anytime goal tonight. Outside of his current form, something I found super interesting is he has goals in 4 of his last 5 games against San Jose. In that 5-game span, he's got 10 points. He obviously loves to play this team. So his anytime assist is plus 180. I said I was going to mention, a couple props in that game. So Jamie Benn goal is my bargain bin piece. And then I also love him on the assist, playing with that line, 10 points in his last 5 games against San Jose. Something about San Jose, Jamie Benn just likes to play. So that Jamie Benn goal, anytime goal, plus 305 is going to be bargain bin play number 1. Bargain bin play number 2 is actually going to be Josh Jones, not to score a goal, but just a power play point tonight. He's got 4 points in his last 3 games. He is getting looks with that top power play unit there in Buffalo. And he actually is on a 2-game power play point streak. He has power play assists in the last 2 games he's played. And I'm getting that at plus 400. So I love that look. I think, I looked, Winnipeg is the 3rd most penalized team in the league. So there should be a fair amount of power plays tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. And I think Josh Jones chips in with a point. So Jamie Benn, anytime goal. Josh Jones, anytime power play point. Those will be my 2 bargain bins.
All right, good stuff. Like it. 2 bargain bin specials there. I'll go with 2 as well. One of them is going to be from right there, Plano, Texas, where Matt's from, Stefan Nason. Bet it at BetMGM if you can. He's on the top line with Heishier and with Meyer tonight for New Jersey. BetMGM's got him way better price than a lot of the other books. Plus 600 right now at BetMGM for Stefan Nason for the New Jersey Devils. So great price there. Plus 600 because he's like plus 380 at Betway, 380 at FanDuel. 500 at DraftKings is actually still pretty good, but you can get 600 at BetMGM. So there you go. Stefan Nason, New Jersey, plus 600. The other one is going to be Bowen Byram, Buffalo. Back-to-back games with a goal. He's been jumping into the play. Try to ride the wave here. Bo Byram, plus 725 for the Buffalo Sabres. So a couple of big prices here. Stefan Nason, New Jersey, plus 600. Bo Byram, Buffalo, plus 725 for my 2 bargain bin specials of the night for this Friday. All right, best bets. Best bets are rocking this week. 2-0 sweep again last night. Alex, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet?
Let's head on out to Jersey, where we got Vegas taking on the Devils. Akira Schmid's return home. I don't think that's going to mean much of anything. I expect goals. So give me the first period over, 1.5 minus $1.15 is my Friday best bet.
Vegas, Jersey, over 1.5 first period for Alex B. Smith, best bet. Matt Robinson, best bet.
Yeah, hopefully we get a sweep tonight because unfortunately I have the same best bet. I mean, there's other plays that I like on this card, but we talked about it with Perlo the other day on the show. Best bet is your best bet, and I just can't argue with that. Vegas, New Jersey, first period over. Love the play. I will be on it as well, so that'll be my best bet for tonight.
There you go. Vegas, New Jersey, double dip best bet. Alex is on it. Matt's on it for best bet. And then when you can cash the first period over, you can hopefully sit back to watch another 40 minutes and watch the full game over cash, because that's my best bet. Vegas, New Jersey over 5.5, minus 125 at DraftKings. Why not? We're all liking various parts of the over in this game, first period or full game. But no, the overs have been rocking it this week with best bets. We've hit 3 in a row. Montreal, Ottawa, Buffalo, Philly, Detroit, Columbus last night. 3 straight over best bet winners for me. Let's make it 4. Vegas, New Jersey, over 5.5, minus 125 for my best bet here for this Friday NHL card. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. And did it move? I shouldn't have. Yeah, it probably did. Yeah.
To 450?
Wow.
We all bet it at once?
I think so. Wow.
I've never seen that before.
Ice Guys. We're moving goal prop lines right here on the Ice Guys live. You got to love that. Wow. +4. Good job, guys. No, I got my 600, wild. So I'm good. You're not, I bet it before I said it. I made sure I bet it before I said it.
Yeah, I got 600 in too, so jeez.
Wow. That's pretty good. Good stuff. So it was plus 600, but yeah.
Mine was sitting in my cart, and now it's plus 450. Fuck.
Oh,
really? Wow.
I still like it at plus 450. You don't get a plus 450 on a first line player very often. So it's
if you're working at MGM watching the show, make sure to like and follow. All right.
That's right. We're giving you good business here. Let's go. Throw us a freaking bone here. Yeah, exactly. For mentioning that prop was way off at BetMGM compared to other books. But there it is. Now it's been pounded into shape by the Ice Guys family there at BetMGM with Stefan Nason. Well, we've done our work. We got the great price, great value. Now all he has to do is score the goal.
That's right.
It's always the hard part, as we know. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Great show on a Friday. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. Oh, yeah, we announced it yesterday. I just want to remind everybody, Tuesday, December the 16th, live betcast, free for all, the final betcast of the year. Tuesday, December 16th, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join us for that. It's going to be like the Ice Guys Christmas party as well. Just a little over a week before Christmas. So Tuesday, December 16, Ice Guys Live Betcast. Looking forward to that. For Alex B. Smith and Matt Robinson, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll see you tomorrow on Saturday, noon Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.